Hey there. I'm Dean Walker, and I'm the founder of a little organization here on the interwebs called Living Resilience. And probably most of you know me from you seeing our video podcast called The Poetry of Predicament, which is a YouTube channel. And what a lot of you might not realize is we've got a whole body of work behind that podcast. It's a online community space that has courses, it has events, it has special focus groups, it has support groups, all of it in service of the collapse aware and collapse acceptant communities. And one part of that work, those different kinds of focus groups and support, a pretty important element is the work with grief. What we're asserting, and which is pretty common knowledge at this point for anybody who's even slightly collapse aware, is at this scale of loss and impact on the human community, we got some grief going on. And one thing I've seen is that in America in particular, I'm sure we're not alone, but that's what I know best, is that we're really bad on average. We're really bad at grieving. We don't understand it really, and we try to avoid it. It could be called grief phobic or pain phobic or loss phobic, because everything's supposed to be, all going ahead full steam in America all the time. We don't take time for the weakness of grief and so on. I'm being a little rough, but I think I'm not too far off. In any case, not only do we offer occasional grief rituals here in the Living Resilience space, which is sometimes a full day, even 2 full days, and it's one of the most wonderful, rejuvenating, nourishing experiences I get to be a part of. So that's one kind of grief expression, grief exploration. There are a number of other kinds going on. There are a number of support groups that have sprung up over the past few years. Of course, you've got the Good Grief Network with their 10-step grieving process and meetings and so on. And that's great. We're in a time when we need every conceivable type of support out there for what's coming and what's already present. What I'd like to talk to you about today is a really unique, wonderful, small grief support group or organization here in Southern Oregon, where I live. And for the past few years, they've been offering grief support groups online, which is, of course, expands out the people who can get to those meetings, if you will, from the outside the Rogue Valley to around the world. And I'd like to tell you about a particular series that I've been really rallying for a number of years, because these folks have been offering much needed grief support to people who have lost a spouse or a child or have other significant like traumatic death that they're trying to make sense of in their world and feel somehow through the process of grieving. So there are a number of different kinds of grief groups available from this WinterSpring organization in Southern Oregon. I'm going to be putting all the links that I'm talking about, links to how to register for the particular program I'm talking about. Here's the invitation. WinterSpring is offering up the second round. We've done this a few months ago. We did our first round of this, an 8-week, 8 Monday night sessions for about 90 minutes each session. And it's an intersection of very strong and skilled grief support and education. So that's there in spades. That's just what they do, what we do in those, in any of the grief offerings. But this one's been combined with the work of a woman named Joanna Macy, and her really worldwide team have been offering the work that reconnects, which is a particular kind of support group for people who have large scale, often, well, it started back decades ago with the concern of the nuclear weapons programs that were around the world and still are, but that was new then. And they put together a workshop in which people could explore and experience and help each other integrate the challenging emotions that can come with that, with something of that scale. Needless to say, we are facing a number of global scale concerns and issues, still including the nuclear issue, but now we include things like climate change or other types of existential level collapse of both Earth and human systems. We've never had to handle, to deal with, to face this this scale of grief, this scale of disruption of the human continuity on the planet. You might say that there's some stuff we need to work on. I would think. And certainly I, again, find great solace and value in getting together on a regular basis with others to explore these challenging emotions that come with the facing the truth of what we're facing in this world. The name of this course is Growth and Resilience in a Changing World. It's an 8-week series, Monday evenings, October 2nd through November 20th. And the time for these sessions is 5:30 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. You can translate that into your own time slot. I want you to know that there's no charge for this or any other program that you might be interested in with grief support from WinterSpring. All the information, the contact information, they do this in kind of an unusual and I think quite personal way. They give you a phone number or an email address with which you can contact WinterSpring and contact the person that you'll talk to or connect with in order to register for the course. So again, there's no cost for this, and it is coming soon. It starts up on October 2nd. So I hope this will be of value, intriguing, or possibly just that this would be useful for you and what you're needing at this time. I'm really proud to be a part of this program because it puts together two areas of expertise, areas of wisdom, areas of support, mutual care that are quite important to me, and I would assert to all of us, whether we are really aware of it or not in these times. I think that awareness is going to be spreading around the world, very, very soon, if it hasn't already. So the combination of those two areas of wisdom and expertise and support are, again, how we can grieve together, how we can learn to metabolize grief in a good way in a culture that is grief phobic. So combine that with the extraordinarily opening and generous, spacious work of the work that reconnects. And I think you've got a pretty darn good situation going on. So again, all the links that you'll need, all the information that you'll need to sign up for this course is coming up on the show notes down below this video. And I will also include my own contact information. So if you have any questions or concerns and you'd like to ask me about any of it, I'm there too. So I hope to see you in this remarkable course of growth and resilience in a changing world. Hope to see you there. Thank you for joining us in another episode of the Poetry of Predicament. This podcast is produced by Dean Walker and the Living Resilience Alliance. Living Resilience exists to offer transformative support and resources to the collapse-aware and collapse-acceptant communities around the world. Our sole purpose is to curate and offer coaching, support groups, courses, and events that assist people in expanding their core skills, competencies, and capacities for facing a troubled, predicament-laden, yet still ineffably miraculous world.